Hey, what's going on, my friends? This is Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary. As you can see, I'm in a little bit of a different location because I'm having some work done on our office house. It's kind of noisy over there, so I'm gonna hang and I'm gonna walk around in my backyard here, and you know we might be joined by my son right over here. He just joined me on the last call, and it was pretty exciting. So if he decides to come, I don't know, but we'll find that out. So this morning, I'm going to be welcoming Mel to the show, which is yet another amazing and wonderful student that has gone through our training, gone through our challenge, gone through our. It's just it tends to become a pattern here when people are succeeding. They've gone through the education, and then surprisingly they've applied it. And that tends to be the defining mark between those who are successful and unsuccessful, I guess. As a matter of fact, yesterday we had somebody post in the Facebook group that they what was the word she used? She wanted to celebrate. She'd made her first sale. She'd followed all the legendary training to a T, and she made her first sale. It's like, golly, when you follow, when you use as directed, and I can't complain about a medication if I don't use it as directed. Then I say that it doesn't work. So our education, the directions are use it and then apply it. That's the directions. And anything less than that, you're probably not going to get very good results. So with that being said, Mel, welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
How are you? Where are you calling in from?
So I am in the UK in a place called Cornwall, which is right down the bottom of the UK. Very nice area.
Okay. Great. Your volume's a little low. Is there anything you can do on your end to turn it up, or no?
Is that any better?
Maybe because it doesn't sound like your headphones are on. You're not talking into your headphones. You got to switch it over to your headphones on your computer.
Oh, hold on. It did say they were on.
At least I don't think. If you go into StreamYard, there's audio settings on the StreamYard page itself.
Okay, it says headphones built in. Headphones built in.
You've got built-in headphones. Okay.
Is that any good?
Right. Oh, maybe my hearing's just going. It's fine. I'm on my phone. It's not as loud as it usually is. So I'll listen carefully. I mean, we should all listen carefully, to what you're going to say and how we can learn from you. So tell us how you found Legendary. How did you get started online and eventually make your way to us?
So I guess at Christmas time, I was feeling pretty rubbish. I have a product-based business and it wasn't doing so well. And I was having a pretty rough time and felt like I really needed to find some other way to bring in some extra income that I could actually do alongside my product-based business. And like most people do, I was on TikTok and I kept seeing like lots of ways to make money online. But this particular one jumped out at me and I literally clicked the link, went through the funnel and came across the 15-day challenge. And I literally did not hesitate. I signed up, $7 there and then, bang, done. I just felt $7, it was worth a risk because if it's absolutely rubbish, I'd wasted $7. It wasn't like hundreds of thousands of pounds or going to university or signing myself up for something for 6 months. And I felt like it was something I could do there and then sign up and learn and learn and earn at the same time. So that's really what brought me here. I can't hear you, Dave.
I literally don't know because I wasn't able to read your kind of bio stuff before we got started. So I don't know anything about how that's panned out. Tell us when exactly was that start date and what has happened since?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So that was around Christmas time. So between Christmas and New Year, kind of had the major meltdown of what shall I do, and started going through the 15-day challenge between Christmas and New Year. So, and once I started, I was just immersed myself in it. I loved it. Like literally the value that I felt was in the challenge for $7 was incredible. Had my call, I think, on day 3. That was really good. Just felt very inspired. And yeah, like immersed myself in the Facebook community, watched all the Wake Up Legendary shows. So I'm like really thrilled to be here because I saw so many, and they just gave me so much inspiration. And I really felt like this was something as an older person that I could do, and that I wouldn't need to have like, there wasn't massive skills, like anyone can do this. It didn't seem like out of reach. It felt like something that, it gave me hope, is what it did, is it gave me hope.
Yeah.
And I literally got onto TikTok and thought, well, while I'm learning, I'm going to set up my TikTok and just begin to feel familiar on that app, because that seemed to be the place where people were getting a really good result. And that felt like the right platform for me. Like, I'm not much of a Facebook person. I do a lot of Instagram with my other business, and I know how long that takes to build up a community. So that's what I did. So I leapt onto TikTok, and spent hours of my life falling down rabbit holes on TikTok, watching random
Right.
stuff. And just, and then thought, right, I've just got to start making videos. And, they were cringy, I have to say. They were bad. But I just did them and just thought, just do it. If you're going to do something, commit and do it. And that's what I did. So I didn't mess about. I just started.
Nice. Sorry if I'm doing this. I'm just making sure that I'm hearing what you're saying. So if people are probably coming on Facebook and then they see my ear hole and they're like,
it's not
so
at
I mean,
all hairy.
What'd you say?
It's not even hairy.
I know. Well, I mean, my wife keeps me trimmed up.
Good for her.
So, what business does? I mean, did you refer to yourself as older? So, what business does an older person have? Starting an internet marketing business in 2022. Could you maybe speak to that point? I'm sure there's some folks that are your age that are like, okay, wow, I didn't know I was too old, or I didn't know that I could still do this. Like, can you speak to people who are thinking, oh, I'm too old for this?
Yeah, sure. That's exactly how I felt. I'm 55, and I've come from an era that we didn't have tech. So, I didn't have I didn't have a phone. When I grew up as a youngster, we didn't even have mobile phones, let alone computers. I had a phone box at the end of the street. So and I went into my work life without being in a technical environment. So I think that was the biggest point for me where I felt challenged, would be I haven't got any digital skills. You see a lot of nerdy type people.
What even is a digital skill? I don't know.
Computer use, I suppose, like any sort of technical skill. So the
being
idea
able to navigate like a piece of hardware, like a computer,
100%.
turn it on, navigate it, and
Yes.
use a cell phone is kind of how we all, I think, is it what you're saying, grade ourselves, whether we're technically savvy or not, right?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Okay.
So yeah, literally that, like even going onto Facebook and learning how to become part of a community on your own private Facebook, when you've never had that, it just is overwhelming. And as an older person, when you haven't grown up with it in your life, it's signing up to anything, even online banking or online shopping, can feel like overwhelm. So yes. So yeah.
Well, I can't say that I don't feel like that every day, to be quite honest with you. I mean, I'm being serious. I mean, there's things out here that are just like, really, it's well, I want to speak to those folks for a second, because I really am serious when I'm not over dramatizing how the overwhelm I feel with some tech. I mean, it's real. And it's not, we got to not combine it all together, because it's really just certain hardware and I guess software or whatever. But here's what I find. I mean, I was really uncomfortable with my iPhone and all my computers and devices when I first got them, and now some months or years into it, I mean it's like an extension of my arm, So there also is that, if somebody isn't feeling quote technically savvy or whatever, I mean, what do you need? I mean, what are some of the things that can help you if you're young or old, quite frankly, and you're feeling technically challenged or whatever, feeling like maybe that might not be your strong suit? what are some of the things that can make up for that? You know what I mean? What are some of the things that if you're weak here, you're strong here, you'll be okay in your opinion?
I just think you just need to know that you want to do it. So have a bit of um, what would be the word? Persistence, I would say. So be persistent in your desire to do something. So if you really want to do it, then you can learn the skill, can't you? So the technical stuff is challenging, but you can learn it. There's always somebody that will know the answer. There's always someone you can ask. But what no one can tell you to do is to do it. Is to, if you're going to use TikTok, is to go and make your video and put it up there. So I think there's a lot of people where, and myself included, that I will procrastinate over something. So I will think of all the reasons why I shouldn't do it, or maybe I should just do this bit first, or maybe I should just do that bit first. And you know what? It really doesn't matter if it's perfect or not. It doesn't matter. You just have to, if you want to do something, whatever it is in life, you just need to start, take a step forward, and then another step, and then another step, and have some common sense and know when to ask for help. Oh, can't hear you again, Dave.
Oh, I muted myself. What you just said is so important. I mean, you know, it perfection. It I think there's a saying something like perfectionism is the enemy of all things good, or all. I don't know. Maybe somebody can drop it in the comments, but it is it is a it is a oh, my son's about to go by and he's going to be very very upset. He's okay. All right, let's say hi to everybody here real quick. Oh, what? You're so snotty. Oh, you're alive. You're alive. You're alive, little snotty. You're such a snotty boy. You're gonna have a special, sweet little restful night night. Okay. Night. Say goodbye. Bye. You want to blow leaves? He wants to blow leaves. Um. So perfectionism is really the enemy of all creation, in my opinion. And what you said there was just really important, because I think what I found with older folks is that they really care about things getting done right. You know what I mean? Like, that's my experience with my older relatives and people, whereas the younger generations are like okay with it being like, if you
Yeah.
look at memes and stuff, like, look at the meme revolution on the internet. Like, those photos and those images are not highly produced. They're thrown together. You know what I mean? So the younger generation doesn't care as much about things being kind of put together and looking perfect. They just care about the content. Whereas I think the older generations, because of, just there wasn't an internet, there wasn't as much, there wasn't as much content being created, and so everything was more stylish, and style was really important, and it
Mm.
being done, how it looks, the presentation, kind of all those things. And nowadays, I mean, you got COVID that kicked in. We're all working in our underwear from home. Memes are everything nowadays. They're being shared all over the world. We just live in a different world where, if you really pay attention and look around, nobody expects anything to be perfect. And quite frankly, nobody wants anything to be perfect, because it almost looks out of place in this world of just like hodgepodge stuff that's thrown together. I mean, honestly, like, if you look at all the things that we love on the internet, it's YouTube channels that people are filming, just like vlogs or what, like things from home, or we're spending time on TikTok watching people on their phones versus sitting and watching Netflix. I mean, people
Yeah.
would prefer this style of content. So if you're listening and you've struggled with perfection, then please understand that nobody even wants that from you anyways. But I want to validate and acknowledge the fact that it's probably not perfectionism. It's really just that you want to do a quality job. I understand that. And it's okay to know that the way it looks isn't important, and the content can still be quality. You know, the message can still be quality. Mel, do you agree with that?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. I mean, that's the key at the end of the day, isn't it? You're putting a message out there, regardless of what you're doing. Is you are trying to get something out there to get something back. If you're doing marketing, then obviously, in that sense, 100% you are. But yes,
Yeah.
quality is good.
Yeah, and speed is important. This is the other thing that's really important, is not so much like how it looks, and oftentimes even the message and the speed at which you get it out is the most important. Not how it looks, not if there was misspellings, not if the picture's perfect, not if the video's perfect, not whether you say ooh whether you go on the video. I mean, that doesn't even matter. What matters is the quality of the content, and then the speed at which you get it out. And the reason why I say that is because the moment you have an idea, every second that goes by that you don't execute on it is the second that it's going to lay down and die in the idea graveyard. Do you agree with that?
Yeah. I mean, I film my content on the hoof. You know, I try and sometimes batch create, so that helps and keeps a load of stuff in my draft folder on TikTok. But quite often it will be inspired in the moment. So I'll see something and think, "Oh, I'm going to go make a video on that," and I'll just do it there and then. So, you know, I've always often got the dogs in the background. And like the other day, I was filming one. I've got a really big dog, and halfway through the filming, she suddenly leapt up and put her arms on my shoulders, and I had a little dance with her. So I just kept it in the video. You know, it looked ridiculous, but actually silly little things like that, actually, you know, you can put it out there because people are scrolling. Oh, scoliosis, as you say, Dave. They've got the scoliosis and off they go scrolling, and something like that catches people's eye. So, you know, you could spend half a day setting it all up to make it look perfect and nobody even look at it. So it's much easier just to, so many people say about TikTok in particular, it's the really crappy videos that they've made and put out that took them 2 seconds to make are the ones that go viral, are the ones that get a lot of views. The ones they've spent ages editing do nothing. So, and you'll grow. Your TikTok channel will just grow. It naturally will. The more you put out and the more consistent you are, you will gain a following. So yeah, regardless
You
of
got to
how
be
old you are.
clever with content. It's like, how have you not just become a copycat of everybody else's stuff, but figured out how to learn from what other people are doing and even model it, but yet still maintain your own, you know, identity or message? Or is that difficult for you? Like, how are you coming up with ideas and executing on them?
Yeah, sometimes it can be difficult. I think what I did is I picked out probably half a dozen marketers that inspired me, and then I followed them. So, and then I literally went and studied them. So I went and studied what they were doing. So during the period when I was still learning, I studied them a lot, and I watched what they were doing and how they style things and some of the messages they were putting out, and then recreated that in my own way. So maybe change the music. Not, I didn't reinvent the wheel. You know, some of it was very similar, but I filmed it in my home, and it's me, and it's not them. So, you know, and I am older, so maybe some of the more, what would I say, youthful stuff with the dancing, I don't really do that because it's just not me. I don't feel particularly comfortable doing that. So actually, I try and, you know, so I just do something that feels right for me. So it's natural. That's what it is. It's natural. So it comes across as me. And I've mixed it up a little bit. So I do some fun ones. I do some educational ones. And then I do a sprinkle in a few just about me. So a bit about my life and who I am. So trying to give a little bit of a balance. That's what I do.
That's fantastic, and yeah, that really helps. You know, if you are finding yourself, you know, looking after and modeling a lot of videos from other people, and you kind of are want to make sure that you don't come across as just another copycat channel, you know, that's just, you know, or copycat profile or whatever. You just don't sound like this, because that's why you get shitty comments, guys, is because you sound like everybody else. You know, I mean, let's just not bullshit each other. I mean, I don't have time to bullshit you, and I don't give a damn if somebody never buys another thing from me. It doesn't really matter. If that upsets you, then, you know, go buy from somebody else, learn from somebody else. But nobody, you know, these are just the facts. And you know, uh, it's just a lot simpler, and it's a lot easier than we make it out to be. I find it that I complicate a lot of things, Mel, that I don't need to complicate, and and I make things a lot more difficult on my own self than they need to be. And I find that you can take a test of that very easily by being honest with somebody about the actual things that you say to yourself or about yourself, and then ask somebody if they've ever thought the same thing about you. And what you'll find is that, if others talk to us the way that we talk to ourselves, we'd beat them up, you know because we're so hard on ourselves, we're so critical on ourselves.
That's
And
so
the
true.
truth is it's just not that important. I'm a freckle on the pimple of a gnat's ass in this big universe. I'm not, what I do. uh you know I can't say that one human being doesn't make that much of a difference, because if you look at what's going on in Russia and Ukraine, you can see that one piece of shit does make a difference. But I'm not invading countries with tanks and shit. I'm just posted on TikTok, so it's not that big of a deal. You know what I mean? It's just, you got time to evolve your skills, and you have time to get better. And quite frankly, people might like this brand new rough around the edges version of yourself better than they like whoever you think you need to be. And that's what I found, Mel, was that I was this scrappy ass street kid who had an 8th grade education, dropped down 9th grade, didn't go to high school or college. And I don't know a lot of words, like, in terms of, especially when I first started out, I would get words confused. I thought ends meet meant you were so poor you could only afford the ends of the meat. You couldn't get the center slab. You could only buy the ends of the meat. I mean, this is the stuff that I come up with on my own, in my own head. And, it was a challenge. Um, it was a challenge to really accept myself for who I was, and think that others were gonna accept me too. But the further away I got from who I was, when I would comb my hair with a perfect part and put on a shirt and try to talk a certain way, and all this kind of stuff, it was like people could sense that wasn't the real Dave. Now, that was when I was really looking like a lookalike. And the more I started to tell my story, that was a big breakthrough. And then the more I just embraced me, and just my, like, who I really am, in my content. Not It's not about, I just, my own personality. That's all I'm saying. Each one of you has a unique personality that's special and funny, and people love it when they're around you, when you let your walls down. And I bet your friends tell you that, oh, I love the, Mel, or I love the Jen, or I love the Dave, when you're not, when you don't have all the mask on, the walls up, right? And that's
Yeah.
what life does to us. It makes us put up mask and walls so we can protect ourselves from bullies. And it makes sense, but it's not a survival skill that's so much needed anymore. That was what you needed on a childhood playground. Ironically, I'm walking across the childhood playground in my backyard right now. But I
I
think you get my point here. You
Yeah,
know what
I
I
was the
mean?
same, Dave. I went to normal school. I never went to college. I never went to university. My two sisters were the bright ones. I was the no hoper in the family. I got married when I was like 19. I had my child when I was 20. I couldn't make ends meet, never had any money, but always had that bit of entrepreneurial spirit and would do anything to bring some money in and provide for my family.
Yeah.
And funny enough, I was only talking about it the other day. I lived in this tiny village and we were miles away from anywhere. And I took on some cleaning around the village, clean people's houses to make some money. And my car broke down and I couldn't get to this lady's house in the next village. So I walked to my neighbor, tacked up their horse, rode their horse to the next village, tied the horse up in the garden, cleaned the house, and then rode the horse back. And you did what you have to do. You
Yeah.
do what you have to do. And
Yeah.
but that's what makes you who you are, isn't it? Knocks along the way sometimes are what shape
Well,
you and give you that bit of grit.
I think we're embarrassed as humans a lot about our our history or our past or our family or where we come from. So there's a lot of shame around that. And we it's just misplaced shame. A lot of times I think it's just shit that's passed on from, generations, and we don't even know why we feel that way. But
Mm.
to have pride in yourself, and to be able to turn your struggles into strengths or your mess into a message is a real gift that you give people, and it's a real gift that you give yourself, because when you combine that with a product, it's what gives the product a story. And people like to buy products with stories. They don't like to just buy products. So if you, the marketer, you, the affiliate, now I'm going to include a story when they get to me, you better believe it. So if you ain't going to tell a story, I'm just saying, for if you're an affiliate of ours. If you're not, then make sure that you include a story, because if you don't include a story with the product, no wonder people are just treating you like a product. No wonder people are shopping you around. No wonder people are in your DM saying, well, this business over here or this training over here, look, because you got to make it to where they're not contrasting or choosing between two products. They're choosing between a product in a story. They're choosing between a product and a brand. They're choosing between a product and a team, a real company. It's just different. It's like the difference between buying from Tiffany in the mall and at the flea market. I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but is all it takes is a story. It's just a story. And that's what you're giving people when you just include these little pieces. And even as Mel said, you can still model other people's videos, but the real thing that I think you're doing that's so smart is you're sprinkling in videos which tell your story. And here's some other examples that maybe some of you guys could do. Hey, I want to get real about something that I haven't told you yet. We did an episode a couple of months ago on hooks. If you scroll back through Wake Up Late, like, it was a valuable one. It was all about the hook, the first 3 seconds of the video, how you catch somebody's attention. And hey, I've been keeping something from you that I want to tell you. Those sort of intros, those hooks, to where then in that video you can go and get a little bit more deeper, get a little bit more real. Tell somebody. For example, I was watching this bit on ESPN last night about a golfer who has secretly had a club foot all his life, and he just came out with that, and it's like making this news all over the place, because he's bringing people into his life and giving them just it's not effortless, because it takes courage, but he's not doing anything except just opening up and letting people in. And he's making all these headlines and making all these news. He's getting all this attention. So you know um, I've just found that when I'm embracing my, even look at this morning, and it's hard, because even when I was about to get on live, and I've done this like this before, but I was like, oh, there's just like, oh, is this going to be professional enough? Like, are people, is this going to be okay? But then when you do it and you just embrace it, whether you're shooting a TikTok about something that's more personal, or what, I don't know, or whether you're just deciding to go live and walk around in your backyard or at a park or whatever, it's the rules of what you're used to playing by don't apply here. And probably, if you can do the opposite of what you're feeling,
Mm-hmm.
the opposite of what you learned in corporate America, the opposite of what you learned in school, you'll probably be okay, right, Mel?
Well, funnily enough, yes, because like the flip side is the the product business that I've got is all on Instagram. So that Instagram's all very slick and professional, and everything is aesthetically pleasing. So it's almost the flip of what I've done with the marketing. So it's an interesting contrast.
And that's wonderful. So you're saying on Instagram you're more, just this, my sound is bad, so I didn't hear it as well, but your Instagram is more kind of polished, and your TikTok is that what you were saying?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And that
So
makes
yeah,
sense. I mean, that makes sense to offer a different feel on a different profile. I mean, we're already repurposing enough content, and I often find that if somebody follows you on one platform, they're probably going to follow you on another platform, so people are seeing it. So for you to offer a little bit of a different look is definitely smart.
hmm. Yes, it
Very
just
cool. Well, what else can we learn from you? Give us one last nugget. Give us one last tip, Mel, that you think would be helpful to somebody who, was just like you maybe at the beginning. What could help somebody to get started?
I think the overwhelm. So I see a lot in the Facebook community where people are in such a panic about getting their funnels built and getting their link out and getting to 1,000 people on TikTok. I just think don't put so much pressure on yourself, because it will happen. Whether it took me 3 weeks to get my funnel built. It will, it just did. And I did have a few moments of tears and stress and a little bit of overwhelm, but eventually it does get there. And then I put my link out, and then guess what? Tumbleweed. It literally was tumbleweed. So take some pressure off, because it will happen. Take a couple when you're trying to build those first few that first funnel. Take a couple of days off and go and do something nice, and then come back to it. That's probably my biggest takeaway when I was beginning. Yeah.
And then don't go in and mess with it 1,000 times after you've
And
got
leave
it
it
set
alone.
up. Just
Yeah.
It's not, when you're getting 12 hits to your landing page a day, that's not enough traffic to know whether your opt-in page is not converting well. Okay.
Yeah.
So get that thing up into hundreds of visits per day, and then we'll talk about your split test.
Yeah, exactly. So just get it built. Don't give yourself too much grief. Try not to cry your eyes out with stress. Just get it built and then get it out there, and then just enjoy making the content, because the rest of it will follow. It just takes time. It's a process. Follow what you've been taught step by step, and it'll happen.
Yeah. Awesome stuff. Well, thank you for being so patient with me this morning, and it's been wonderful. I've loved this, and I can't wait to see you continue to grow. Come back in a couple of months. Just keep us posted on your journey. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Mel. We'll talk to you later.
See you guys. Thanks.
See ya. All right, my friends. You can follow Mel the affiliate. Now that's where Mel is on TikTok and Instagram. Mel the affiliate. Mel the affiliate. There's just a period in between the and affiliate. Mel the affiliate. Okay, my friends. Hey, look, thanks for being patient with me this morning. As I walk around in my backyard, I'm here because I was having some construction done in my office house. So let's man, it's already past the first quarter. It's, for whatever reason, whenever we go to end the show, I always start reflecting back on the previous months of the year. But we're in the second quarter of 2022 already. It's important to pay attention to the calendar and sort of where we're at, I think, because I like to take my years from the 1st to the 31st of December, and what did I accomplish in that period of time. But anyways, what's most important is the moment and the day. So use this day to do something powerful for your business, at least one powerful thing. If you can make a list, what's the one most important thing? Put it right at the top and make sure that you accomplish that one thing today at the very least. And it should be a successful day for you, right? If you accomplish the most important thing on your to-do list every day, that one thing, isn't that a successful day? All right, my friends. Be legendary. We'll see you back here for another episode on Monday. Get on out of here.